Welcome to Jesus the Good Shepherd Anglican Church. My name is Father Howard Giles. Today is Saturday, April the 18th, 2020. We just finished our Saturday Bible study, and so this is a summary of our on-time, on-topic Bible study that we have every Saturday from 8 until 9 a.m. Today we read in Exodus chapter 18. And in chapter 18, we have just left Moses and the nation of Israel as they battled against the Amalekites at Rephidim, which is in the southern part of the Sinai Peninsula. In chapter 18, we read that Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, has heard all that's happened, which is something that we could have talked about for the whole hour, talking about the ancient world and the way that information moved from place to place. Sometimes in the modern mind, we think of ancient people as being stable and fixed and not knowing what happened in other places, but clearly there was a wide dissemination of knowledge and understanding. And so Jethro hears about all that's happened to the nation of Israel and the way that the Lord has brought them out of Egypt. And so we read that he brings Moses' wife Zipporah and his two sons, that he brings out Gershom and Eleazar. We also read that their names have meaning. And it's wonderful because it summarizes who Moses is and what it is the Lord has done for him. We read that Gershom means that I've been a sojourner, a stranger, a wanderer in the world. I haven't had a place, and that is certainly true for Moses. He has not had a home. He has not had a place. He's been an outcast, an outsider everywhere he's been. And then we read that Eleazar means that the Lord is my help. And again, that is so important for who Moses is. It's the Lord who's done everything, the Lord who has helped him. It's the strength of the Lord that's brought them out. And when Jethro comes and meets with Moses, they celebrate that. They both recognize that it is the strength of the Lord, that it is his power and might that's brought the nation of Israel out of the slavery of sin in Egypt and brought them as far as they are. There's no mention for them about the suffering, the trials, and a sense of sorrowing, but that the Lord has saved them from these trials, that he's saved them out of these difficulties, that he has been good to them. And this is what the two men celebrate. Jethro is such a wonderful and interesting figure. He's a Midianite, he's not part of the nation of Israel, and he's a priest who recognizes the Lord and recognizes what the Lord has done for Israel. And Moses, too, recognizes him as a priest. We've spent so much time already talking about Aaron and his sons and about their role as the Levitical priesthood. And yet they recognize Jethro as a priest, and he offers a sacrifice and an offering to the Lord. That sacrifice and offering is so important. When we give to the Lord, when we give our tithes and offerings, when we put money in the plate at the church, we're doing multiple things. It's not just one thing that we're doing. We're sacrificing. Here's money that I could have used that maybe I wanted to use on myself or on some other purpose. And instead of using it that way, I'm going to make a sacrifice and I'm going to give it to the Lord. When we do that, we lose control of that money. Even as a priest, a pastor in the church, and sitting on our church council, I don't have total control of that money. I shouldn't have it. It's the congregation, the people of God, and it's really hopefully the purpose of the church and the guidance of the Holy Spirit that decides how that money is going to be spent. So when I put money into the plate, I lose that power. It's a sacrifice in more ways than one. And then it's an offering. It's given out of thanksgiving. And that's the only way to give, is to give out of a sense of thanksgiving, saying, Lord, you've given me everything that I have, and I'm going to give back to you. I'm going to show my thanks in a real way, and that money is going to be used, that offering is going to be used as a thanksgiving. So as the animal that's burned upon the altar that Jethro sacrifices is burned, that scent, that aroma, the smoke, all of those things are thanksgivings to God. They're recognizing his gift and his goodness to the people of God. And we read about this familiarity that Jethro and Moses have, this wonderful relationship. And like everything that Moses does, he has such deep humility. And it's something that is so hard for us, I think, as moderns to understand because partly because of the movies that have been made where Joseph is proud Moses is proud and strong and well-spoken and all of these things. And that's not what the scriptures say about Moses at all. He has this deep humility, and we see it in the way that he greets Jethro, that he does obeisance to Jethro. He bows down before him. Here's this leader, this spiritual military leader of possibly millions of people, and leading them in a way that no human being has ever led a group of people, seeing his father-in-law and bowing down before him, showing again that deep humility that is the heart, the central aspect of Moses' character. So much more that we talked about in these 12 verses. We went from chapter 18, verse 1, all the way through verse 12. And so next week, we will be picking up in chapter 18 of Exodus, verse 13. That's where we'll start next week. I hope that you have a chance to read and reflect upon these passages. And my prayer for you and for all of us here at Jesus the Good Shepherd is that we too would have that humility of Moses, that we too would have that thanksgiving and that focus of purpose in following the Lord and being obedient to him and celebrating the might of his arm as he saves his people. God bless.